In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make the threaded bar that we use to hold the clamp together. Now for this one we're going to use a combination of both the revolve and the extrude functions. So we're starting with a new part as usual, and we're going to go straight into revolve. As before, we're going to work on the front plane for this, and to start with we're just going to draw a circle somewhere on the page, and we're going to smart dimension that circle to a diameter of 6.1 millimeters. Okay, it shrinks quite a bit, so let's zoom into it. Okay, from this point we're going to use a line, and if you hover your mouse over the center of the circle it picks up that you want to start from the center. If you then, without clicking, pull to the left, it actually creates a horizontal sort of guideline for you to work with. This is quite useful, so you can draw simple vertical and horizontal lines knowing that they're exactly on point. So have a go at drawing a horizontal line that cuts through the circle from the left to the right all the way through, and leaving yourself a bit of space over on the right hand side as well over here. Oops. So from that point on I'm just going to draw a vertical line here, and know it's vertical when it says 90 degrees to the right of my pointer and it's got the yellow vertical symbol next to it as well. Notice that that disappears as soon as I go off an angle. And I'm going to draw another line going across horizontally this time, and then back down, but not all the way, just somewhere around here. Okay, notice all the green points, all these green dots around your drawing, they're set relations, so that line, for example, at the top will never be any other angle but horizontal, and this one won't change, it will always be vertical. Okay, this is a different type of relation here. If you notice, that point is now changed to a tangent relationship. Okay, you may have learned about tangents in maths. It's basically a line that's just crossing and touching the edge of the circle. Okay, so I would like one of those as well. I can just press escape to stop drawing lines, and I'm almost ready to revolve. The last thing I need to do before that is to, well, there's two things. I need to smart dimension everything, and I also need to get rid of a few lines. Okay, to start with, let's smart dimension a few parts. So this point here to the bottom line needs to be 1.5. Remember as well, you should know by now how to change your units in case these are looking odd if they're in inches rather than millimeters. This back line needs to be 4 millimeters, and this top needs to be 4 millimeters as well. Notice how I've changed the sketch, but because of these existing relationships, the lines are all stuck to their appropriate angles, and this one with the tangent has stuck right on that circle, but it's changed angle slightly. Okay, so my last point is from the back to the front, and that needs to be 12 millimeters. Okay, again you can see it's shrunk down, but this line is still parallel to there. So I think we're just about ready to start revolving the part. If I was to revolve the part now, it would cause some problems because there are these lines here that are sort of in the middle of the model. SolidWorks won't understand what to do with those lines. It can only revolve and extrude sort of closed parts, so where we've just got a perimeter. There's a lot of intersecting lines here that I've used as guidelines that I need to get rid of. To do that, use a tool called Trim Entities. We've never done this before, but it is a very useful tool when you're sketching. All you do is you click and you can draw a faint grey line. Okay, anywhere you cross with that grey line gets deleted. So for example, I just remove the top there, I can draw a line across there, and I can draw a line across there. It becomes very useful, this tool, when you're using more complex shapes. Okay, so hopefully now we've got this sort of shoe looking shape. I'm going to exit the sketch, and it's remembered we're going to revolve. If this hasn't happened, you can just hit features and then revolve at the top. Okay, now it's asking us for an axis of revolution. We're going to click the bottom like we did before. Let's just zoom into that at a bit of a better angle. There we go, so I've clicked that bottom line there, and I'm going to keep these settings default and hit OK. Okay, so we get this part, okay, which is sort of part of a ball joint that we're going to use on the swivel head. It'll all become clear when we put it together. So I said before we're going to use extrusion as well, so we're going to do an extruded base on top of this model. So I've just clicked extruded boss base, and I'm going to click the bottom of this part here, this side. Okay, as soon as I click that, it knows I need to start with a sketch, or it's already put me into the sketch and it's already selected that as its face. This is just a little time saving tool. So if you remember, we can always normal to, and we can start sketching on here. Now all I'm going to draw on here is a circle, but I want that circle to be right bang in the middle of my circle part, circular part. To do that, it's usually quite straightforward to sort of hover over the existing circle to get the orange line, and then this little crosshair appears. As long as you click in the middle there, it's always going to line up. Okay, I'm going to drop that anywhere, and down here on the bottom left I'm going to change that to 3mm in radius, so that becomes a 6mm in diameter hole. Okay, so I've just exited the sketch, and if I turn my model, you can see that it wants to start pulling it out. I'm going to select 80mm here, and this bit will form part of our threaded bar. Okay, now if you remember, I did show you how to add on a cosmetic thread before. You will need to do this on this section of the part as well. Okay, so if you need to, look on that video, and then you'll have a finished threaded bar ready for rendering.